Okay, this is an olive oil jar or an oil jar that I've turned on the wheel. I'm painting the first coat of green teal slip on it, and I will paint once it dries, not completely, but just till it's got no sheen on it. I'll paint another coat, and then I'll paint the third coat on it to give it a good coverage, and then I'll carve my design onto it. Okay, I decided that since this is a jar for oil, olive oil, I'm going to carve branches around it. I've got the first set of branches done, and I want them hanging down from the top like they're a tree. So I take my narrow pointed carving tool, and I'm just going to carve out branches. I'm randomly putting them on. If I twist the tool a little bit, the branch gets a little bit thicker in different spots, so it gives it a little bit more of an accent of a thicker branch. So I just carving my branches to, and I see I've got a little bit of empty space here, so I'll put some branches out here. And then once I get it all carved up, I switch to my round tool for the leaves. I'm going to carve in a round half circle. I carve one half of the leaf, and then I come back and I carve the other half. And at the end of it, I give it the tool a bit of a twist to give me a point. And of course, leaves come in different shapes, or they do bend and they do twist, and they're not exactly 100% when they're breezing in the wind on the trees. So I'm just randomly, again, just putting what the leaves are. Now, if it were an olive tree leaves, they should be longer, but obviously don't have space for long ones. So I thought I'm just doing little leaves along here. And like, again, it's on random, but it's symmetrical. So I've got one leaf opposite the other leaf, and I'm just going to work my way around this branch, filling in the spaces of the leaves. And so when I work on the second branch, I'm going to put the leaves in between the other leaves. I don't want them overlapping each other. That's just a personal choice. You can have them overlapping. If I were to paint more detail on them, I think I would, but if I overlapped them, I might lose the detail on the fact that there's leaves on there. So I thought I'd just do this. I haven't decided that when it's finished, and when I get the bisque fire done, I should say, I might put some veins and put a little more detail, paint some more detail on the leaves, but I haven't decided that yet. So of course there's a little bit of space here for the other branch, so I'm going to put a leaf going the other direction up on that branch. And I'm just working my way around the branch, putting leaves in where I see there is space for them. Oops, there's a bit of a ding there. I wasn't sure if it would actually come up onto this and you'd hear this, but I'm just recording this on my phone. I don't have a way where I can mute all these extra background sounds and that. So I thought, well, I might as well just leave it on there, because it was just too much to re-record everything again. So yeah, so that was just my daughter sending me a text message. This clay slip's getting a little bit dry, so I have to go over some of them a couple of times, because it's not coming off as clear as good as it did at the beginning, just because it's a little bit, it's drying out a little bit. I'm also, since I was drying out a bit and I'm having to leave some, I've decided I'm going to leave a little bit of the green in the middle to represent some veins of the center of the leaf. Like I said, I might go over this again after the bisque fire and touch up and just put some underglaze details in it. I also might color the branches brown instead of green, just to give it a little bit more detail, but I'll have to wait till after it's fired in my kiln. I meant to actually paint the branches brown over the white, not the green, because the branches will, if I leave them like this, the branches will stay white, just like the leaves will stay white, with a green background. So I've pretty much got quite a bit of the leaves on there, as much as I want, just a couple more to fill a couple of the little spaces here, so they don't have too much of a space in between them. And yes, you know, I've noticed that the second branch is quite a bit bigger than this first one, so I'm going to go back to the first one later on and add some more to give it a little bit more, make it bigger. So what I'm doing, I go back to my narrow tool, carving tool, and I'm just adding branches to on there to connect the leaves to the main branch, because otherwise they're going to be looking like they're floating in the air, and you know, I don't want that. So just go around and do all that. So I've got the second group of branches finished. I'm almost finished, and now I'm just finishing up the last group of branches here, just at the very end. And just adding leaves randomly around, filling in the spaces. As you can see, as I go around, the green slip is getting a little bit drier, and my edges are not coming out as smooth. So I'll have to touch up the leaves here and there, because it's just not coming out as smooth. This is what happens when it needs to be actually more of a leather hard, and then it gives you a smoother thing. So it's just because it's just dried out a little too much here, or not too much, but just enough to make it a little bit harder to get a nice crisp edge on my leaves. Oops, I picked up the wrong carving tool. This has got a rounded edge, and so I'm making my little branches are a little bit on the wide side, so I'll get back to my proper rounding tool. I'll just leave those ones as they are. When I finished all the leaves all around it, I kind of noticed that the top looked a little bit on the bare side. So I took some of the green green slip that I've been using, and I painted on olives with a few branches around the top. I haven't shown how I painted them on, but I'll just show what it looked like at the end. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos, just subscribe to my channel. Listed below. Thanks. Bye.